Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Cannon Fodder TV featuring Guna Matters. Now, this was supposed to be posted or uploaded later today, Monday 24th, but instead it will probably be uploaded Tuesday. However, welcome. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to Cannon Fodder and also Guna Matters. So gently hit the like, share the video, and also once you've subscribed to both channels, click the notification bell so you can receive all the notifications for when there's a live stream. Today I want to touch on a very, very sensitive subject, and I think I'll probably stand on a lot of Arsenal fans' toes. I will probably hit a couple of nerves. I will probably get bantered for some of the things that I will say, but these things need to obviously be said. And there's a lot of Arsenal fans that I believe that are very negative. There's a difference between being negative of your support to Arsenal and then rather ranting about certain aspects of what is happening currently. Now, we got a manager in Mikel Arteta, young, 41 years old, Spanish guy. He stays in UK, previously played for Everton in Premier League, and obviously came to Arsenal as captain for Arsenal, and he's won a couple of honours with Arsenal. And then his last stint of a player captain, he was obviously recruited by Pep Guardiola to be an assistant for him at Manchester City, and that was a couple of years back. And then of course Wenger left, Unai Emery came for about 18 months, and then he got sacked. And then guess who came? Mikel Arteta came in December 2019. Now, who guessed that you want to talk about Mikel Arteta? Mikel Arteta has played 168 games as a manager for Arsenal. He has won 100 of that, and that game came against the last Fulham game where we beat them 4-1, I think. That came as a 100th victory for Mikel Arteta as Arsenal manager. And then he's drawn 24 and he's lost 44. So his goals that was scored under him was 292, and that was scored against him was 170, and that's just about a difference ratio of I think 1.4, 1.6 ratio. If I'm just looking at the maths quickly. Now, having played 168 games, having won 100 of that, it's a percentage of 59.5% winning ratio, which is the best. Can you believe it? Which is the best, and it says here that it took 168 matches for us to reach the milestone. And the boss, Mikel Arteta, has also drawn 24 and lost other 44, meaning he's won a percentage of 59.5, is the highest for any permanent manager in history of Arsenal. That is something to be said. Now, here's the thing. A lot of Arsenal fans, I was one of those skeptics, that in theory, we said he is young, inexperienced, hasn't had a job as coach or manager. He was a second second in charge to Pep. What can he bring to Arsenal? His first season, arguably won the FA Cup, which I believe was none of his players, but being the manager and the players had a new voice and a new style, not really much of a new style. Obviously won the FA Cup, which a lot of people say is a crew that he inherited from Unai Emery and obviously Wenger, which in my opinion, I believe it is true. But because he was the manager, he's given that trophy as a manager on his books. Then we ended up 8th in that season, and the following season we ended up 8th. We couldn't buy a win if we had the money. And the following year, which is last season, we were better off and we didn't have windows where we bought players. We bought in players, summer window of that season. And the mid-season window in January last season, we didn't buy anybody. We'd rather get rid of somebody, which is in some way, a bit of good news, because we got rid of, we call the dead wood, and the players that had bad influences on the youngsters. And of course, the likes of Martinelli and Saka and Emil Smith Rowe, the young boys came up under Mikel Arteta, although Martinelli was not one of his players, it was Unai Emery's, but obviously he had a hand in the making of what we see now of Martinelli. So those three players came up, and we always, I've always said on this channel, when I was on the Friday night show with Easy Talk, I always said that the youngsters need to play, the youngsters need to be brought in, and so he did. And he acquired a lot of skeptics, myself included. He acquired a lot of haters. He silenced them with the youngsters that he brought up through the ranks, and they've given them a lifeline where they perform pretty well. Saka is our star boy now, as nicknamed. Martinelli is our top goal scorer at this stage. Emil Smith Rowe needs to get back to form and the form that he had last season. So those are the things. Martin Odegaard came in from Real Madrid on his first loan spell last season. He didn't do too well, but coming back, having a reformed personality and also being captain. And so Mikel Arteta did all that, and some would say that he's a fraud, he's a trainee manager. Look, he's still young. He still makes a lot of mistakes. All of us would make plenty of mistakes, considering the pressure, the club, the stature of the club, the position he holds. Those type of things. He obviously needs those support, and yet we go and banter, and yet we go and threaten him, and those are the things that I've spoken last time. Why are we abusing players and managers and even refs? Why are we abusing that? And to this stage, I feel that a lot of fans are abusing Mikel Arteta. Look, there's, like I said in the beginning of the show, it is a very, very sensitive subject. The topic is very sensitive. Look, I don't want to praise the man too much, and I also don't want to bring across that he's failed this and that and the other. He himself came out, as did a lot of Arsenal fans, that this season, because we failed to make top 4 last season for Champions League football. I was one of the guys said that I'd rather have a Europa League as a stepping stone into a top 4, which my prediction was top 4 this season, as did a lot of content creators of Arsenal. Said that top 4 is going to be a good season for Arsenal. I had Arsenal in 3rd place. In this stage can still happen. I had Manchester City, I had Liverpool, and I had Arsenal, and then of course I had Chelsea. So 2 of those teams are not there. And this season, as you can say, arguably correctly say that Arsenal could either end first or second, but they could also end third if we start dropping points in every game. And then Manchester, obviously, or Newcastle can come top us if they win or lose. So yeah, Mikel Arteta, getting back to him, has done amazing things. Even though 2 seasons of 8th position, bottling top 4 last season, and a lot of pundits didn't even have us in the top 4 this season. None of us, nobody in this planet Earth has expected Arsenal to do what they've done this season. And now we get to the point of the business end of the season where so many things has gone wrong, and Gary Neville is one of the guys that has consistently say that Arsenal are not going to win the league because of City. When they go on a run, a winning run, it's hard for them to be stopped. And Arsenal will drop points, and they will have the nerves because their players have not gone through the business end of the season, whereby they're challenging for a trophy and a league win, whereas City obviously. So yeah, in a nutshell, Gary was one of the only guys that have come, obviously, of the pundits, the paid pundits, has been consistently reporting that. And now he's obviously changing his tune and saying that Arsenal can still win it. Look, that is everybody's opinion, whether you like Arsenal or not, and whether you say they're not going to win it or they might. That's totally up to you, and it's your opinion. And on Guna matters, your opinion matters, and so for obviously on cannon fodder. So yeah, getting back to Arteta. Now Arteta, I think it's a stubborn guy. By what you can see, obviously, in his managerial style and position, and he has a lot to learn in terms of how he must communicate to manage a game. Because most of our young players, they sometimes fail to manage games. Sorry, I've just been distracted here now. But yeah, that's no big. So yeah, he's very stubborn, and I think he should really start getting into a position of maybe recruiting a stronger number 2, a stronger assistant where he can sort of grow more and sort of learn maybe from. So it is very important for a number 2 to give his opinion and the way he sees the game. And that is the thing that Arteta lacks the most, is really taking the advice of his number 2. And I know, I mean, this guy obviously gives of himself. He what he sees, he sort of communicate with Mikel. But there's also factors in his managerial plays where he come across very, very stubborn. It's my way, and that's it. And that can be the downfall of him. So yeah, and I think that is what he lacks. He lacks that teachable, if I could say, teachable ability. Because when you are teachable, you will take heed, and you will take the advice of those that might not be more experienced than you, but that might see it in a different light. A very simple thing is, for argument's sake, if you give the players freedom to do what they know they can do, and not restrict them, Arteta is not going to listen to that because there is no structure in freedom per se. But there's only a certain way that you can structure it. You give your back line up until your midfield, defensive midfield, that is the structure. But your attackers, you give them freedom to roam all over the place and give them that freedom because they are skillful players. Not that the guys at the back are not skillful, but yeah, give them that freedom as the manager and tell them, boys, you can do it. It is the ultimate situation for you now to go out, enjoy yourself, and be free. For the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes, do this, but once you have control of it, do whatever you need to do. I don't know, I mean, that is just what I'm seeing. So yeah, Mikel Arteta has a lot to learn. He's got a lot to learn, but he has done brilliantly thus far. Bar the 8th position, bar the bottled 4th position last season. If he don't go on to win this league now, people will say he's a failure. I would stand to my prediction of the season, top 4. I didn't expect to win the league. Yes, I will be gutted and I will be disappointed that we are not winning the league. However, I will be happy for Champions League because that is what I've predicted for Arsenal this season. Arsenal achieved quite a lot this season. They have achieved and has gone ahead of their process and the project. I will be so disappointed if we don't win the league. We've been challenging for the league since the first game, and a lot of people will say you've bottled the league, and maybe rightly so. You've bottled the league because you were on top since the beginning. There was 1 or 2 games that City was on top because of drop points that we had. I think it was 1 game. And then we went. There was a stage we had, I think, 9 points clear, 11 points clear, and then it came back where we dropped points and we moved on again, and we dropped points and we moved on again, and now we've dropped points. Now the trend should be continued, whereas we've dropped points, but now we obviously came back and recovered from that and responded. Wow. And hopefully tomorrow night's game or Wednesday night's game is going to be that response, because now we're going to be the underdogs. We're going to be the ones that City's going to sort of annihilate with 5-7 goals, and that could be, but it should not be the case, because Arsenal is not going to just lie over. Arteta is not going to just roll over and say, Pep, yeah, take it. I think Arteta is going to come out with something that will surprise us all, and hopefully so, that we can at least go to the Etihad and get the result. So yeah, I think in my opinion, Arteta did very well this season, bar all the mishaps, and also the other thing is I've seen in every other game, not just this season, he needs to change the game or change players almost immediately when you need, like what you've done with Bruno Tavares that one game. Bruno Tavares did something and immediately at halftime he substituted him, and we still have to do that. I mean, with Zinchenko doing what he does and causes us maybe goals here and there, sub him or put him somebody else in that position like a Tierney and move him into a different position whereby he can be more effective. But as a left back, he's not going to be effective for Arsenal, no matter what you say. And that is what Arteta has to obviously start looking at. If Zinchenko is the problem at left back, you've got a left back by trade in Kieran Tierney. Then put him at left back and move him, especially now when Xhaka is not there, move him into a Xhaka role or even whatever. But you can't allow mistake after mistake, because he's not a defender-minded person. Although he's been playing, pardon me, at left back at City as well. But he's not a defensive-minded person. He's an attacking person. He's an offensive person. So let him play in that role, and he will do wonders for you there. But Tierney is the man that you need to look at to fulfill the role of that left back. So Arteta needs to really learn those type of things. Those are the small basic things that he lacks as a manager. And he will go do well. He will be a brilliant manager when time comes for him to be, but he needs to overcome those things that he lacks, that teachability, that the lack of wanting to be teachable, the lack of making changes immediately when it needs to be done, the fact that you want to throw in the kitchen sink and the baby with the water, you want to throw everything there. That's the things that he needs to still learn, and very fast for that. So I hope Arteta will do us proud, and he will come out on Wednesday and bring out a different tactic that Pep has never seen, and allow the players to obviously do what they do best. I think Arteta has given us so many things to think about. There's so many pluses and also so many cons and so many pros that he's obviously provided for discussion. So what I want you to do is obviously leave your thoughts, leave your opinions on the live or on the chat, and you know what, your opinion, obviously it's your opinion and that's how you see it, but you gotta understand and really believe that Arteta has done. If you can't see the bigger picture, then I really question your insight, because Arteta has done and did make a difference in the last 2 seasons. Last season we can obviously argue that he didn't make top 4, but he did well, consider the fact that how we started last season. I mean, we were 20th after 3 games. We had no goals after 3 games, but he turned it around up until today. So you have to, it's 1 season, well, 1.5 season. Last season, obviously at the end of the season, we fell out of the bus, and then we started well again. And we show the same signs now that we might fall out of the bus. But you gotta give respect and praise to the guy that has changed a lot, that has motivated our players, that has given our players something to fight for now. And rightly so, you gotta give him, and big ups to Mikel Arteta, that he's done this, obviously with the help of his backroom staff. Now his backroom staff probably, in my mind, needs to change a bit. You need to obviously start looking at a different option if you want to do and challenge next season in the Champions League. So you need a stronger number 2. You need a stronger coach here and there, and give it to the boys and recruit well coming this summer. I mean, we can't. And this is also the other thing that we need to look at. If you want a player, yes, you're requesting a player. Edu and Garlic is doing whatever they do, but you got to put pressure on them and say, this is the player, no matter what you do, you get me this player. Be aggressive, be ruthless in wanting that player. And that is also what he lacks. He is not ruthless enough in every aspect of his management. He needs to be ruthless. He needs to, if it's Zinchenko and he likes Zinchenko, and if it's Xhaka, he likes Xhaka, and if it's whoever. Yeah, so you have to be aggressive and you have to be ruthless when it comes to the people you want. On the field, you need to be aggressive. If it's, like I said, if it's Xhaka and you like Xhaka, and he did something wrong for whatever match, you bench him the next. The same for Saka. Saka has been tired for so long. Yes, he's our star boy, but he's been off for 3 or 4 games. Bench him. Look what happened to Martinelli. Martinelli did something and he was benched and came back and he's a top goal scorer now. So you have to be ruthless in every aspect of your game. The same with Edu and Garlic. So if you want a player, for argument's sake, you want me as your striker number 9, and you will get your money's worth. I must say, I can score goals. You know what? You want to recruit me, Alex? Or you want to recruit me? Whoever has got a manager's job there at one of your clubs, Sunday League, you recruit me. I can score your goals. There's the enforcer. He can vouch for that. You've seen videos. But nonetheless, so you need to be ruthless. If you want Glenn April as your number 9, and he's £100 million sale from Cape Town Spurs, you take him. This is who I want, that is who I want to get. So he needs to be ruthless. He needs to be ruthless with Josh and his dad, Kroenke. He needs to be ruthless. And as a manager, he will grow and grow stronger if he's ruthless and aggressive, obviously with respect. And that is Arteta's lacks, and he need to work on what he lacks. So again, leave your thoughts in the comments. Gently touch the like, share the video, and of course, if you have not done so, subscribe to Cannon Fodder TV and go over to Guna Matters, subscribe to Guna Matters, and also click the notification bell. Ting-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. That's what you will get when there is a live or an uploaded video. So thank you for watching. Thank you for spending time with me and Cannon Fodder. And I hope that you are not offended by what I've said in some of the things. And I hope your toes that I stood on are not paining. Guys, you know what? I love football, and I say it as I see it. So what you need to do is go tell your mama, go tell your papa that Glenn has said it. Yes, I have said it. And this was Cannon Fodder.